Thank you very much. Like he has said, um, looking at the definition of true federalism, because in Nigeria, we sit in Abuja, we make laws that has wider influence over subnational. We should not forget the fact that this is a federation. We have in place federation units that are subnational, and to some extent, they have their own jurisdiction. Now, if you pass, like the Child Rights Act that was passed by National Assembly, each state has to domesticate that act. Like the Electricity Act, now Ekiti and Enugu State Regulatory Commission NEC has devolved the power 2 days ago to Enugu State to have their state regulatory commission. That is the essence of true federalism. So, in the same manner, the commission before now was Consumer Protection Commission.
Council.
Council, CPC. And I recall that we had issue of monopoly and cartel, antitrust. And when it comes to issue of a big player in the cement industry dictating the price, you have the largest cement company, maybe the foremost cement company, will now fix the price. That is antitrust. So, but coming down to the basic, like you have said, each of the states, what we expect the FCPC to communicate to the states House of Assembly, like we have in Lagos, they are doing robustly well, so that each of the states will now domesticate the contest, the spirit and letter of the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission. Because even if you put the entire budget, federal budget, which may even come through the envelope system, they will approve XY amount of money, they will release 20%. If you put the whole budget of SCPC into publicity, I know what I'm talking about. This program, if we are to go commercial, it will cost us nothing less than 10 million in a day. And so you can imagine the number of 10 million you pay for all the major TV channels. It will consume the entire budget of SCPC. Publicity alone. Even though that they have to use wisdom, you assist them to using goodwill and what have you. The publicity budget alone will consume the budget of SCPC. So moving forward, what I expect us to do is the FCPC to train staff from the state, like NEC is doing with some of the states, training them on how to establish their own state regulatory commission. I want to come into the electricity sector, where I'm a sector leader and very active. For example, in 2013, the issue of competition was not in place as in Competition Act when the power sector was privatized. Because if you look at what we have in the definition of distribution licensee or franchise, some genuine investors in some states will want to come in and invest. I recall we have Geometric Aba Power Company in Aba. We have some investors that want to come into places like Kosubosu. They want to compete with the discos. But because by the time the licenses were issued, there was no Competition Act, okay, that will look at the issue of competition and antitrust. Now, in the market, we want to patronize utility companies. The consumers does not have the right to choice. We have what they call the service level agreement, which is still, like he said, part of law or contract. For every contract, there must be an offer, consideration, and acceptance for a contract to be valid. Now, the service level agreement, part of this SLA, entails that the discos will provide us meter. Because if you go to the grocery, you go to petrol station, it's not our business to provide the meter. But now, it's the customers that is providing the meter. It's the customer that is providing all the infrastructure in the electricity sector. This service level agreement is being breached. Talk about the performance contract. So these are the areas where consumer FCPC has a lot of work to do. And that's why I talk about the issue of funding, which is very important. Funding for manpower and advocacy for FCPC. I still want to come to that. And we now need to devolve the responsibility of the consumer protection. The commission cannot be here and be covering Maiduguri and be covering Lagos, where the subnational with their own legislation, as defined by true federalism, could be established, could be trained to have the same mindset with the FCPC, so that Instead of opening all the offices in 774 local government, it's a lot of resources. So that when you have the state, if the state have gotten the right kind of orientation, we'll not talk about issue of synergy. And some of us who are non-state actors, some of the things we do them out of passion for consumer rights protection and advocacy. So that all this synergy, by the time it comes together, the issue of protection of consumer rights is like issue of safety. It's everybody's business.
Okay.